Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this meeting. Our speaker is Anna Whelchel from the Indiana State Fair. So we're going to look forward to hearing what she has to say. We'll start this off with an invocation. Roger, can you do that for us? Do you have it?
I do not, do I?
All right, that's fine. I'll take care of it.
Surprise, Roger.
Surprise, Roger. It's a poem about the joy of being surrounded by kids at heart at the fair. Sweet aromas of lumpy dough and powdered sugar fill your nose. Grabbing plates of funnel cakes and lemonade. Fizzy ice-cold lemonade gulped down. Ready to take in countless dizzying rides. The thrill of feeling cold air as it trickles your face. A soundless scream emitting from your vocal cords as you twist and turn. The whoosh of the air filling your ears as you zoom on the ride. The happy shrieks as little kids grasp tiny animals and colorful prizes. The soft wool at the petting zoo comforting your hands. Sheep bleat, cows moo, chickens squawk. Sticky hands clutching melted ice cream as the roar of the parade passes through. So much to love about state fairs. So we welcome all of our guests. Why don't you again tell us, because we may have missed somebody who's not from the Interclub. Go ahead and tell us who you are, and so we can welcome you to the club. Steve, you want to start? We can't hear you.
You're muted.
Yeah, sorry. Northwest Kiwanis, Steve Spence, past president of the club, and just happy to be here.
John Bloom of the Northwest Club. Can't say I'm past president of that club, but I was past president of the Malachi Kiwanis Club of Flagstaff, Arizona.
Woohoo!
I'm Curtis McManus, the current president. John Bloom is our historian, and Steve is a phenomenal magician. So if the screen goes black, it's because of John, because of Steve. It's magic. But we're also glad to be here as well.
Well, thank you for taking the time to share your afternoon with us. Any other guests?
I see John Guy maybe coming on right as we're speaking.
He is one of us.
Okay, so we'll give him a second. John, are you there? Do you want to introduce yourself?
He had a voice this morning.
Who knows?
Good. We'll continue on though. Trina wasn't able to be on the call today, so as the incoming president, I said I'd help her out. So that's why she's not here. Work prevails. I'd like to recognize some Kiwanians who are having anniversaries. So Bob Baxter, 65 years. And as you know, Bob created the Magic Castle cards at Riley Hospital. Kim Fogg, 19 years, who was the chair of the football committee. John Griffith, 12 years, and Laura Holloway, 3 years. She is our liaison with the Parameridian Key Club. Our friends at Perry Township Club have invited us to participate in their golf outing next Thursday at Smock Golf Course. You'll find the link in the chat, and you'll be able to do that if you want to, because we're not having a meeting next week because of the International Convention, which is going to be in Minneapolis. So if you're a golfer and you want to participate at Smock Golf Course next Thursday, get on the link on our website and sign up. So the international,
Mary?
Yes.
I just, when you're talking about anniversaries, I just wanted to let you guys know that Chris and I just had a party this last weekend celebrating our 50th wedding anniversary.
Wonderful.
So it was actually in December, but we just decided that we'd wait till the weather got warmer so we could do it outside. So we're 50, moving on to 51, and I don't think I can make it another 50 because I think I'd be 121 years old by then. So
You know, if you do just what she tells you to do, marriage is great in a long time.
yeah, I
right?
know. Happy wife, happy wife.
Happy life. That's right.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
So next week is the Kiwanis International Convention, and you can live stream it if you would like to. The annual meeting at Saturday the 24th. You can still register to access that live stream and record the keynote sessions and workshops. Just look on our link and you can sign up for that. A reminder that recordings of our programs for the past few years are found on the club YouTube channel. So for those who sometimes you can't be on Thursday on the Zoom calls, you can go to the YouTube channel and catch up on missed meetings. If you subscribe to the channel, you'll be notified when a new video is posted. We're going to wrap up June at the Columbia Club on the 29th. Stephanie Wells from the Indiana Fiscal Policy Institute will be our speaker. And then that day we'll have announcements on upcoming speakers. Roger, do you want to talk about the lunch bunch when the next meeting is? You're on mute.
We try to meet monthly. It's usually the third Monday of each month. And next month is July 17th, I believe, on a Monday. We meet at 11:30. Whoever would like to join, you're more than welcome. It's at Iozzo's Garden of Italy on South Meridian Street. It's a wonderful time just to visit. We do talk a little bit about Kiwanis, but mostly about each other and just kind of catch up. So please note that and join us when you can.
Great food and great friendships. Thank you, Roger.
You're welcome.
I'd now like to introduce our speaker, Anna Whelchel. You've probably seen her on the news recently with updates about the Indiana State Fair, which is at the end of next month, July 28th through August 20th. We're so excited that she's here to tell us about what's in store at the State Fair. Before being at the State Fair, she was the Chief Marketing and Sales Officer. She's been there for 10 years. And before that, she was Marketing Manager for the Indianapolis Indians. And as you know, our great Max Schumacher from the Indians. Director of Promotions and Events of Cumulus Media and Promotion Specialist for Radio One. She's a 2005 graduate of Ball State University and holds a certified fair executive designation from the International Association of Fairs and Expositions. Anna, we're so excited you're here. So I'm going to let you take it away and share all the good news about the Indiana State Fair.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Mary, for that wonderful introduction. And thank you for that poem. It definitely got my mouth watering for a lemon shake up and the smells and sounds of the fair to be here. So again, honored to be with you today. We're just 44 days away from opening the 166th Indiana State Fair later next month, and really excited to share some updates with you today. But I always like to pause and reflect on our history and who we are before we talk about where we're going moving forward. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and go through a slideshow that I put together for us. Can everyone see this okay?
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. So just to maybe take a step back and share a little bit about the business of the Indiana State Fair. So the Indiana State Fair is governed by a body of commissioners that are appointed by the governor's office. And so we work for the Indiana State Fair Commission. And these incredible group of leaders help us get through financial decisions, fiduciary responsibility, and are just incredibly passionate human beings. And maybe I'll also pause on myself. Mary did a wonderful intro, but I am a big believer in your why when it comes to marketing as well as just in life. So as Mary shared, my name's Anna Whelchel. I grew up in the charming, lovely postcard town that you see here on the screen of Oldenburg, Indiana. I'm a born and raised Hoosier. I've been here my whole life, went to Ball State, and have since worked in Indianapolis And then here on my family, I've got my wonderful husband, Wes, of 10 years, and then my son, Rhett, who is 8 years old, going on 18. So this is just a little bit about my why and my background, which, again, Mary shared. So who is the Indiana State Fair Commission? We really are the Indiana State Fairgrounds, and we're the Indiana State Fair. So we're definitely most known for the State Fair, but a lot of people don't realize the business of the State Fairgrounds outside of those 18 days in the summer. So we're event producers. Our staff produces the Indiana State Fair, the largest event in the state. We are event planners, and we're venue managers. So the full State Fairgrounds is 250 acres, and our full-time staff, our responsibility is to preserve and enhance this property and the annual Indiana State Fair to benefit our community and to benefit all the citizens of Indiana. And when we talk about our vision, what we want to be, what we want to sustain, and where we want to go, it's about being a premier year-round gathering place, and also to be recognized as the best. We think we do a lot of things the best when it comes to state fairs through our agriculture and our youth focus, but we can always be better. So our vision is to constantly work at that. This is our commissioners currently. This photo was taken a few months ago. Again, an incredible group of leaders that we couldn't be more proud to work for. We also have the Indiana State Fair Board, which equally incredible group of leaders, passionate experts in their space, and they really are helping us on the Indiana State Fair. So the commission is the full organization. The Fair Board is really focused on the Indiana State Fair. And here's our team. We're only as good as our team is. So we're about 80 to 90 full-time employees annually. We take a photo together before we open every fair. So this was from a couple of years ago, but we like to call each other Team Blue Shirts. We wear the blue with pride, and that way we can help each other and see each other and be a really, really supportive team for each other. And when we talk about the business side of the state fair and the state fairgrounds, one of the things that we're the most proud of is our economic impact in this city and in this state. So our direct economic impact is to the tune of almost $200 million a year. So this is through all of the events that are coming in, all the dollars that it's driving to our state, our city, our community. So we're really, really proud of that number. And maybe equally proud of, if not more, is our job equivalency that we account for. So just over 1,000 people work for the state fairgrounds year round. A lot of those are the seasonal employees for the Indiana State Fair. We couldn't do it without them. But that's a really important part to our mission, is to employ Hoosiers. And then just a little bit about the campus. As I mentioned, we're a 250-acre property all in. We have over 1 million square feet of rentable space. So all those events that we're hosting outside of the state fair, they're coming in and renting that space from us. We host currently over 400 events a year. The Indiana State Fair is one of those. So there's a lot of branding and marketing disconnects of when people come to this property, they're not connecting that this is the same thing as the state fair. There's a lot of people that really don't embrace and understand that. So that's a big part of our marketing efforts as well. And then as I talked about the year-round business, you know, when this property was built, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, it was built for the fair only, and it operated for the fair only for a very long time. And now, starting in the 90s, the commission and the leadership in the governor's office have invested significant amounts of dollars to the tune of $200 million into this property so that it can be sustainable for another 160 years, so that it can host events year round and continue to be that economic driver. So I just love old photos. So I'm just going to flip through a bunch of them. These are just old photos of our property from way back in the day. There was a lot of development over the years, as you're seeing as we come through it. And here we are today. So this is about 200 acres you're seeing here. The rest of the 50 are up along 46th Street and then down by 38th Street. But this is the main campus that we have today. And we're known for a lot of things. We've had presidential visits. We've had the racing league that was here in the 20s with the Golden Glory race that is really an important part of our history. Ice skating at the Coliseum, which people love to remember. The basketball in the Coliseum, that was a part of our history. The TP restaurant, if anyone remembers. So the history here, which is why I wanted to start with it, is so rich and ingrained in the community that we're just so proud to be an anchor institution still today. lots of old historic photos. There was a hotel on the property. I couldn't tell you when, but there was at one point. This is the original beautiful grandstand that was from the 20s. And then it was updated in the 70s to be this structure. And then here is where you see it today. This is one of these pieces of our property that we talk a lot about because it is an underutilized asset. We're not using this grandstand the way that it was built to be used. So we're always looking at how we can build the property out more. Our Coliseum, which is really our grand beauty and most iconic facility that was built in '39 and went through a $63 million renovation and reopened in 2014, is a great example of our evolution. And our tenants that we have on the property were the home of Mecum Auto Auction. So we really have a vast book of business that's outside of the State Fair that I wanted to just touch on briefly. And we have tenants that rent space from us year round and they have their offices here, which is another great use of our campus and maximizing this campus 365 days a year. But where we're going to spend most of our time is our why. And our why for why we exist is the Great Indiana State Fair. This video, I'm hopeful, I think my IT team helped me with the sound, but Mary, I can see you on my screen. You shake your head no at me if it's not playing sound, okay? Here we go.
No.
Okay, well then we will just keep it moving because that's what we do. This video just is a great piece of content that we put together, but we can share it out later, no worries. So as I mentioned, our why with the Indiana State Fair. So fairs started in the early 1800s. First one was in Massachusetts. The Indiana State Fair was founded in 1852. 1852. And so this will be our 166th Indiana State Fair this coming year in 2023. We took off during the war years, and then we took off during the pandemic, which were the only times that we did not host a state fair here. And for the first 40 years, the state fair traveled around the state and played in different cities around the state. And then in 1892, the state purchased this property of where the Indiana State Fairgrounds is today. And it's interesting, the reason they purchased this property specifically, it was the intersection of two railroads, two main transportation pieces that allowed farmers, allowed Hoosiers to bring in their animals the way that they needed to come to the state fair. So that's why it's here at 38th Street and Fall Creek. But fairs are really unique. So when they started, they were about connecting farmer to farmer, to talk about best practices, to talk about what's working, what's not, technology, evolution, all of the things. And you fast forward to today in 2023, and our obligation and our responsibility is about connecting the farmer to the consumer and really helping make that connection of where food comes from, because we all know, unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand where their food is coming from today. They think it comes from the grocery store, or they think that a brown cow makes chocolate milk. So it's our job to help tell that story, because our why is the Indiana State Fair, and that is based and rooted in agriculture. So everything we do is about elevating and telling the story of agriculture. But fairs are also unique because they're about bringing families together, memories, building tradition. We all probably on this call have our separate moment with what the state fair means to you. And that's what makes it so special, because it's something different to everybody. And that is one of my favorite parts about working for the fair and the Indiana State Fair, is because you get to touch all Hoosiers from all walks of life. And that smile on the screen right now, it makes us all come to work every day. But they're also special because of the carnival that fairs are known for. Maybe most importantly is our agricultural and our livestock competitions and shows that we have through our 4-H programs, our FFA programs. It's also about entertainment. And entertainment has evolved over the years, as you all know. So we do a wonderful band day event, but looking backwards at entertainment, we had the Beatles that played here. We had the Jackson 5, John Mellencamp in the infield, which was an iconic show. Here's Oprah enjoying a corn on the cob at the Indiana State Fair. So we've had our list of celebrities come through, and that only continues through today. And entertainment changes too, right? I mean, the old shows, and you're seeing an old flyer in the bottom corner there, and then to the new circus, but it's the same style. It's just a different modern way of the trend that lives in the roots of these fairs. Competitions were rooted in those. Love this old photo from 1915. I love the dress attire, so much different from where we are today. These largest corn stalks that we have competitions for. And now we have giant pumpkins that we still weigh in. And again, all about these competitions and celebrating youth, cheerleading competitions. And over time, our exhibits have evolved. So here's old machinery being exhibited at the state fair. Here's a brace making exhibit when that was, considered really modern technology. And then you go through today, you see a lot of mattresses at state fairs, don't you? You see a lot of mattresses, a lot of hot tubs, but these are the types of exhibits that the consumers are looking for when they're coming through to the fair. But maybe one of the most popular parts is the food, as Mary's lovely poem alluded to. So the food has always been an important part. Again, food is rooted in agriculture, but the food stands used to look different. It's this one on the screen, people would walk up and they would want to stand and kind of sit there on the stools at the bar while they enjoy their 30-cent hot dog. Whereas today, people are looking for grab and go when they're at the fair. So they're looking to purchase something and then walk with it while they're enjoying it. And they're looking for wacky. They want something they can't get anywhere else. All health diets aside, you can enjoy one funnel cake and one corn dog or whatever it is that you love while you're enjoying the fair. And this goes across all fairs. So we share a brand, county fairs, with state fairs worldwide. And so these all reign consistent throughout all of our fairs and our great events. One of our most popular and most important exhibits that we have is our Pioneer Village, and really celebrating our past and where we've come from, by an incredibly passionate group of people from the Purdue Ag Alumni Group. We are known for this in Indiana. I will tell you, I have the pleasure of representing Indiana and traveling to see a lot of state fairs around the country. And one of the first things people always ask is about Pioneer Village and how we do that. And my first answer is we do it through great partnerships. We cannot host this event for 850,000 people every year without incredible partners that are just equally as passionate as we are. And this is a great example of that partnership with Purdue Ag Alumni and what they do through Pioneer Village. And then we always are looking into the future too. So the glass barn, it's really crazy to think that was my first date when this building opened 10 years ago. It will be 10 years old this year, but we're always looking to keep evolving. And this building, in partnership with the Indiana soybean farmers, was really about showing the future of technology, the future of innovation in the agriculture space. Here's again another example of education and technology that we do inside of our glass barn, where we connect live to a live farmer on their property. Little Hands on the Farm, one of our educational exhibits, again, is one of our most famous exhibits that we have. A lot of state fairs have licensed this from us and duplicate this effort. So we're really proud of that. And then 4-H, as I mentioned, I would say we have one of the largest 4-H contingencies at our state fair than any state fair around the country. And that's really important to us. It's the core of who we are is youth competitions, youth development, education. And so we're really proud of that. And like I said, our responsibility and what our opportunity is how do we keep evolving and innovating while we keep the tradition alive? Because, and that can be a challenge, right? Because our traditions matter and it's why people love this event, but then we have to evolve for future generations as well. So it's finding that blend of how we evolve while maintaining it. And then where we are today, so previewing this year's state fair, we announced that our theme for this year will be celebrating the state that grew the game of basketball. And we will be celebrating this in partnership with our partners at the Pacers Sports and Entertainment. And this is a really great celebration of why basketball came to Indiana, why it stuck in Indiana, and how that ties back to agriculture. And it all ties back to farming season, and that ties back to the basketball season. It's a really wonderful story that we can't wait to share this summer as we come back together later next month. There'll be lots of great basketball activations at this year's fair that are new and different. Again, the Pacers are going to have a great exhibit in one of our buildings. We're custom curating an exhibit that you can't see anywhere else that we're calling Illuminate. We're making augmented reality, talk about evolving. We're custom creating an augmented reality experience at this year's Indiana State Fair. We're doing new kid programming for everybody. We've got lots of fun animal shows that are coming. Art is a big focus of ours from our community outreach perspective. So a lot of great new art projects, bringing the campus to life. And maybe the most exciting part of this year's fair is we're going to unveil a brand new Indiana Farm Bureau Fall Creek Pavilion, which is our century-old swine barn that we've spent the last 2 years renovating. We were thankful enough, and one of a really important part of it was to maintain that north facade of the building, the iconic north facade that you're seeing here. So we were able to do that and update it and tuck point it, and then put an entire new building behind it, which anybody who ever showed livestock in the old swine barn will be very thankful for this new layout and how it operates. This was our last barn that had not been renovated into a year-round multi-use facility. So it not only desperately needed the renovation, but this now also allows us to keep contributing to that economic driver of what the fairgrounds is for the state and for the community by hosting events in there outside of the fair. So it's built first and foremost for livestock, but it will also be used for other events year round. And one of them that we identified through a market study is a need for an indoor track and field in the Indianapolis market. So the building was erected specifically to be able to put this indoor track and field in temporarily for a certain amount of time each year, where we'll be able to host community events, host meets, work with NCAA. We've already won the bid for the 2025 NCAA Division II Track and Field Championships that will be coming to Indianapolis for this building. So this is a really big moment for us in our history that we're really, really proud of, and can't wait to unveil this facility on opening day of the fair this year on July 28th. So I talk really fast. I went through all my slides very, very quickly. This is just a pause slide with lots of different things that tie back to the state fair. And I would just open it up for questions and answers, or if there's anything I didn't touch on that you all would like for me to talk about when it comes to the state fair. Or if you think I did that good of a job and there's no questions, then
I have a question. Okay.
I work with the Salvation Army, and I just want to say the moment that I enjoy every year is Coach for Kids. We've been doing that for, oh gosh, well over 30 years. And I just have many memories of the fairgrounds and that particular event, and how and several of you on this here with me also volunteer or they're leaders with the Salvation Army, so you can understand your feelings along with my feelings when you see several thousand children get a coat, hat, scarf, whatever every year. They look forward to it, and they look forward, and they know that they come to the fairgrounds to get it. So I just want to thank you.
Oh, well, thank you for having it here. Again, we very much take it seriously that we're a community asset, and we need to be activated as such to be good neighbors and to be good back to our community. And it's events like that that really, really we enjoy doing so much.
I do have one question. When will the fuel leave to go to Fisher's? And do you have an idea of what you'll do to replace them?
Sure. So the fuel will vacate the Indiana Farmers Coliseum following their 2024-2025 season. So, no, wait, that's not incorrect. That's incorrect. The 2023-2024 season. So they will vacate next year in 2024 when they finish their season. We have been in talks with a lot of other events and opportunities to fill those dates in the Coliseum. And I think that there's a lot of excitement around the opportunity to have that building host new additional events. Yeah. But we're also really proud to have been their home for 10 years. Now that goes back to our history. That we've been a home of hockey before. We were proud to be a home of hockey then, and who knows, maybe there'll be hockey in the future. But whatever it is, that's a part of this institution's strength. Is we've been around since 1892 as a property, activating traditions, and we're excited for the next 100 years. That's a great question, though.
Steve, what do you have?
Yeah, I had
I had a question.
Sure.
Have they considered moving the state fair earlier since schools start so early?
That's a really, really great question that we talk about a lot. The school calendar definitely affects the opportunity for families to come to the fair. Unfortunately, there's some challenges with moving up early because of county fairs. The health of the county fair system is really important for us. And if we keep moving up, we're going to keep getting on top of county fairs, which affects their opportunity to be successful. So it's a dance, right? It's this balancing act of finding where we fit and where we fit well. You know, coming out of the pandemic, you all probably remember we changed our dates because of the pandemic and what we had learned. We went from a 17-day consecutive event to a 18-day non-consecutive event. So in essence, we picked up a weekend and we opened a Friday earlier than we had in the past. And then we closed the fair on Mondays and Tuesdays, which is our current format. That's what we've had. The leadership determined a 3-year plan for that. So our board and leadership will be meeting this fall to determine the dates moving forward. But to answer your question, yes, we have talked about it at length, and the balance that we're doing is between schools and county fairs and where we can fit in there.
Steve, did you have a question?
Yeah.
Yes, as a proud 4-H alum who actually exhibited at the state fair many, many, many years ago, just wondered, I don't know, maybe, hopefully you know the history as far as how far back the association between the state fair and 4-H is, and has it evolved now that there are more city kids involved as opposed to farm kids?
Sure. Yeah. Well, we kind of joke internally that our relationship with 4-H is a marriage. We're married. We make decisions together. We work together on plans because we're so well aligned. The history, the year it goes back to, I don't know that off of the top of my head, but I know that it's deeply rooted, right? It's ingrained in what we do and how we do it. There's the Purdue Extension Director is on our board. So there's really, really strong leadership recommendations and partnerships. And it has evolved. I mean, I think not only as the world evolves, human interests evolve and they add competitions or take some away. Yeah. We're always working with 4-H about what we can bring to the state fair level to make sure that all kids are included and have opportunity. Absolutely.
And I know it's been a few years since I've been there. Is the 4-H exhibits, are they all located in one portion of the fairgrounds? And is it still at the north end, was the last time I remember?
Yeah, so we call it the 4-H complex. There's a couple of buildings in the northwest corner of the property there off 42nd Street that we dedicate those buildings to the 4-H projects during the fair. But we also have some of them that are outside of the area. Some of the ag hort exhibits have been peppered on the south side of the property by the livestock buildings. So we're always, again, looking at the full campus in totality and seeing where we can integrate 4-H all around the property, because different people go to different parts of the fair. Some come in and stay on the south side and go to the barns and they never make it to the north side. So we're trying to blend that always and make sure that they are still encountering that educational experience and promoting 4-H.
Thank you.
Absolutely, great question.
Hi, do you guys publish event schedule prior to the time the fair starts?
We do. We have our pre-state fair program that's out right now. So they are available. We can ship some to you if you specifically want some, or they're available at Farm Bureau offices already. And then we also publish it on the website. It's not up yet, but it should be up here, I'd say, in the next week or two.
So are you going to have the oldies back? The free concert for the
Happy Together?
Yeah.
We couldn't do the fair without it. It's now a part of our tradition.
It's the only way I see people I haven't seen for like 100 years. So.
Yeah, they are back, and listen, as long as they're able to tour and want to come back, we're going to have them back. It's part of who we are now.
Hey, my wife wanted me to ask if you're going to have dock diving
We do have a dog show. It's a canine trick dog show that's going to be here. We've not announced it, so I'm sharing it with us friends. But we will have a dog show here the last week of the fair. It'll be actually inside of where our 4-H dog show is going to be as well.
So you won't have the, you know what I'm talking about, the dog diving that they jump off.
Yeah, the one with the pool does not fit in the area we have open, but they are at the boat show every February if your wife wants to see them there.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we're always changing up the programming. I mean, I talked a lot about the importance of the tradition of what the fair is, but then we talk about how do we evolve and bring in the new, to expose new people to the state fair. And so a lot of that's done through that programming that we rotate out and change every year, different entertainment options for people to see, not only what works, but give them something fresh, something new, another reason to come back.
Are there certain days that the farm animals are there and other days they're not?
Yeah, so we do have dedicated areas that we have animals every day. So any day you want to come to the fair and see a llama, we have a llama all day, every day. But we also have the llama shows, which might be what you're talking about, and the competitions. And so that schedule is actually already published on our website at indianastatefair.com of what days those shows / competitions are happening. So yeah, that'll be available on our website. And I'm happy to share that out separately to all you so you don't have to go looking for it.
I saw that there was, were some of the announced as far as concerts. The free concert was Styx, one of them that I saw. And who else is coming?
Gosh, so we are currently announcing those weekly. So the ones that we've announced so far are Happy Together Tour, Styx, Gin Blossoms, Clint Black, Home Free, Keith Sweat, a Taylor Swift cover band party, Toby Mac, CeCe Winans, and then as I said, Buddy Guy. And then as I mentioned, we're gonna be announcing more in the coming weeks.
Okay.
But those concerts have really become one of our larger popular areas of the fair. So again, that entertainment piece that's important to bring people in. We joke a lot. We want to sell them and bring people into the fair, and then once they're here, we're going to educate them. We're going to teach them something about agriculture, teach them something about the state, to celebrate our state's history. So we use those concerts to do a lot of that, and it's really important that we make them accessible and free to the public as well, because we know the world is expensive.
So there's no extra cost for seeing those individual bands?
No, those are free concerts. So we use our Celebration Park area. It's actually where that 4-H complex is that I talked about, and we have concerts up in that area. We're using the space differently than what it was built for, and they have been so successful. We've started to concept long-term a larger area for those shows, but they're really working for us right now.
Is there a state fair in every state?
That's a great question. There is not. There is a wonderful fair called the Big E. It is in Massachusetts, but it is a fair for the northeast most states, all 5 of them. So Rhode Island, Maine, Connecticut, Massachusetts. I really feel put on the spot right now. And one other one, Vermont. They all come together and do one fair, and they call it the Big E, the Eastern States Exposition. I've had the luxury of traveling to that fair in 2018, and they do a really unique thing where each state has a building that they program on their own. So you really get the Maine experience. You really get the Vermont experience in each separate building. But then outside of that, it feels very much like a normal state fair.
Are most state fairs in August?
The Midwest are. A lot of the main Midwest, Iowa, Ohio, Indiana, Wisconsin, Minnesota, we're all in a similar time frame. We actually overlap. The majority of us, Minnesota is just right after us in September. And it's interesting. So there are state fairs, but then there's also county fairs around the country. that are sometimes larger than a state fair when it comes to attendance. So a great example is the LA County Fair in California. They have, their attendance is significant, but they're in May. So there's the California fairs tend to be earlier, the Florida fairs, I mean, probably very weather determined around their agricultural schedule as well.
Can you get discounts for acts because they go to different state fairs? Or do you have to work it individually as an individual state fair to get an act?
It's a great question. It's a little bit of both. The options are out there to do it. However, some state fairs book directly on their own. There's also agencies out there that have formed just for fairs to route concert. They found a business model that was a need. And so we at Indiana work with a company called Triangle Talent. They're out of Louisville, Kentucky, and they route a lot of state fairs around us. So to your point, we're able to, if they've got a show in Ohio, the next day we can bring them to Indiana, and hopefully, you know, it's more financially feasible for everybody.
By the way, thank you for the Christmas light shows every December at the fairgrounds.
It's a wonderful show, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a great example of, again, we're really about building traditions. And one of the greatest benefits we have is all those events that happen outside of the state fair, our retention on those events is very, very high for a hospitality facility, which really we are. I mean, we're in the hospitality industry, and the light show is a great example. They've been around for 5 years. They just signed a new contract to do another 5 years. So they are incredible partners that deliver a great product, and it reflects our brand. So we're involved. My team, the marketing team, is very involved to make sure the guest experience is positive every time somebody comes onto the fairgrounds.
Great.
I've got a little note. My history with the state fair has been since 1968. I was in a band, and we played at, they had Battle of the Bands each year. And one of the featured performers that year was a band called The First Edition, which featured Kenny Rogers. So we got to meet him and visit with him a minute. And somebody in our band says, "You really ought to sing country. That's what you sound like." So, you know, who knows where you go. But that was a neat event. The music I've always followed. I go to the free events each year. We had to sit 2 hours last year to get a seat for Kansas. It was incredible. We walked by and saw the crowd. We better grab a seat.
Yeah.
My first big concert was in the Coliseum. It was the loudest concert I've ever been to. It was Jimi Hendrix and CTA, Chicago. Just fantastic. The concrete seats were shaking. It was so loud.
Wow.
I do have a question. Now I've gone through my history. Parking, is that becoming an issue for you folks? I know we've never really had a lot of trouble, but inside the field, sometimes a problem. Is that a concern for the future?
Yeah, parking is definitely, operationally, it's just, there are challenges when you're operating an event with that many people coming, right? So that 850,000 is our average. Depending on the day, the influx of people coming and going could be significant. So, and given our infrastructure of where we're located at 38th and Fall Creek being a main thoroughway of traffic, that also is challenging for us. It's a benefit and also a challenge in the fact that our largest parking lot is smack in the middle of the property with the infield. So a lot of fairs, or fairgrounds, I should say, 100% of their parking is off the campus and you walk onto the campus, whereas we are navigating not only the walk-on traffic, we're navigating the drive-on traffic, the vehicular. So we have a full-time parking department here at the property, as you could probably imagine, that the team works year-round on. We get customer feedback every year to hear how we're doing with parking and their ingress and their egress coming to and from the fair. And, you know, really thankful that it's improved. Every year we get better. I mean, every year we learn. We are big believers in market research and asking our guests how we're doing. And then we take action on that feedback. So we've done that with parking. We've done that with the entry process. We've now really tried to shift to online ticket sales. It helps get people in and through the gate quicker. So that ultimately the guest experience is one of the most important things that we do.
Thank you.
And thank you for your history on your experience with the fairgrounds. Again, it's one of my favorite things to talk to people, and it's incredible the vast stories that you get, the variety of stories that you get when you tell people you work at the state fair or at the state fairgrounds. Everybody's got a connection to this place. We are a connector of people. That's really ultimately what we do when you boil it down. And so I love the variety of what people love about it and the memories.
Well, with that, I think we'll wrap up. I will share my story of the state fairgrounds. So every summer, early on a Saturday morning, Dad would be gone and we wouldn't know where he was. And then someone would say, oh, the circus is in town. So he would go to the state fairgrounds to get elephant manure for the compost pile. So there you go. And with that, Anna, I want to Anna, I want to thank you so much. You are so knowledgeable, and it's always good to hear history, the before and where we are now and what the future is for the state fairgrounds. In your name, we're going to have a donation sent to the New Shoe Day, and their mission is to uplift the world's well-being. And they plan to provide 2,500 new shoe days in central Indiana to youth in undersourced communities to empower them to move, play, and make friends with kids, just like them. So with that, Anna, thank you so much. And all the members and our guests, thank you for being with us today. And we are adjourned.
Thank you
so much.
Anna, if you've got